Just coming on here a couple seconds early. Just want to make sure folks can hear me. I'm so excited today to share the Mountain Devas with you. My name is Janet Demeter, and I think yes, now at exactly 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. If you're tuning in from around the world, oh my goodness, welcome. My name is Janet Demeter again, and I am a graduate of Corinne Grillo's Angel Alchemy Academy. I can't say enough about that. I'm going to begin my talk with you about my journey a little bit. Oh my gosh, hi Gail. I'm so happy to see people on early. Yeah. Hi. Welcome everyone. Today we're going to have, of course, in Love Fest, each presenter gets 2 spots. So next Wednesday will be part 2 of this. But this is Grounding and Awakening with the Mountain Devas. I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to share this because it's definitely part of my journey. And I hadn't planned. I didn't know about the Love Fest until kind of last minute. I had to take a trip out of town, so I'm just like throwing it together at the last minute. But Spirit was telling me, just do it. I'm kind of like the Mrs. Magoo of spiritual development. It's been a great challenge for me to get up in front of people and share. But it's so important that as we learn, we share what we learn as we grow. It's kind of like if we don't, we can lose it, right? So I don't know if any of you are in any kind of recovery, but I am personally. I have been most of my life from a couple of different things as I was a kid, and on into my adult life. And as they say, you share it or you can lose it, and and that's so true about learning. I feel so blessed to have found Corinne, her book, The Angel Experiment, and so many things in my life I've called an experiment, so it spoke to me. Literally jumped off the shelf and I was like, I've got to read this book. And it was so easy to read and it spoke so directly to the heart. She's a really gifted writer and spiritual instigator. So this is about awakening. This class is really a class today, but I'm also going to share with you a little of my journey. I began with Corinne's, taking some classes with her, and it was I think it was during COVID when I began all that, and so I was so excited when the first Angel Alchemy Academy opened that I could jump onto, and I did, and I was still very entrenched in other things in my life. But I just want to give a vote of confidence to those of you who are, doing your very best to embark on your spiritual journey in a more fully conscious way, because it doesn't always look or feel like we think it should, and just do it. No matter what it looks like. Anyway, I can't tell you how many times in my life I've stopped myself because I didn't think I was doing it the right way. And that's just, it's a little devil I've had to confront. At any rate, not that long after I started working with Corinne, it was before the academy, I felt really called to come up to Mount Shasta. I lived in Southern California at the time and had been there for 13 years. And I just felt called to go to the mountain. I felt called to take my daughter up there. And the mountain, listening to those kind of callings has really changed my life. I live here now. I didn't know I was going to move here even just like 7 or 8 months ago, but I moved up here April 1st, and it's been an amazing journey of awakening ever since. I don't know if I'm stuck for everyone there. Here we go. Yes, recovery people, spiritual instigator. That is Corinne. This is really helping me to get in front of you and share the material I'm going to share with you today, because I am planning I did for 8 years a radio show and podcast for childhood cancer talk radio, the thing that no one wants to talk about. I had a radio show for it. And I'm very proud of it because we did very well, for as long as we were going. But I kind of found the places of resistance where I couldn't go any further with my advocacy that I wanted to go. There's only so far, unfortunately, um, that I could take my mission, and that was to raise awareness for the urgent, unmet medical needs of so many children with cancer. Um, they're underfunded for research because they're really considered more numbers than they are people to the system in place. And that's the thing that people don't want to confront higher up. And so, but I did the best that I could. And now I'm transitioning. And my new podcast is going to be called The Unicorn Yogi. And it's coming sometime in the next 90 days, possibly. But our creation of the episodes is beginning within the next month. And I'm beginning with my own climb of Mount Shasta. So when mountains, trees, rivers, the ocean, any aspect of nature speaks to you, go with it. Trust it. We can trust it so much more than our intellectualizations at times in life. And so I was led also to work with a group on the mountain in a land healing project. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. That's neither here nor there. You do not have to join any group to do this work, to heal yourself and work with nature to heal yourself and the planet at the same time. And that's what we're really looking to do in working with the mountain spirits. It's been said, although I haven't gotten that impression myself, but it's been said that they are a bit reticent and slow to awaken to work with humans, as I think they've wanted to for a very long time. I hope that you can all see and hear me because I'm stuck on my own screen. But working with the mountains is a very powerful yet subtle process. I hope y'all can see me. I don't know if my connection is good with you. I hope it's okay. I see it flashing on and off. But let's just begin. Let's just begin with you. And you're okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Lisa. Yay. Okay. So we're going to begin first with you and your personal grounding. Grounding is something, I don't know about you, but oftentimes I kind of take it for granted and I'm like, oh yeah, I got that. And then I'm totally ungrounded. Practice, right? Practice, and it becomes more and more solid. The awakening grows with our practice of grounding. So grounding isn't something that we just kind of get and move on. I've found, for me anyway, that continuing to explore grounding with other spirits and with the world around me, and how we can communicate through the core of our beautiful planet, Mother Earth, who is very much alive and with us, is an ongoing journey that's incredibly beautiful. And to find this practice with the mountains has been a real turning point in my personal growth. So, but we start with you. So if you can, on the page, there is a little flyer that I put up, and I'm sorry I didn't get it up sooner for you, but it kind of just very briefly outlines what we're doing for the next, for today and for next week. And I'll speed it up here. I figure if I'm done with my intro in the first 15, I'm good. So make sure you have that. I want you to call whatever comes to your mind. Insofar as a mountain that feels like a big friend to you, or something that's a constant in your life, call up a mountain. And if you don't, there's a list of mountains on that flyer. You can pick anyone you want. You can do an experiment with it and just see what happens when you pick a mountain. But do your best to, if you don't have a picture of one, to internally visualize that mountain so that you have a touchstone to connect with in the meditation when we turn to working with the mountains. So when we begin working on you, make sure you're comfortable. You're in a place that if you can have a candle lit, that would be beautiful. So even if it's just a makeshift for this purpose altar, that's fine. Rainier, someone's talking about Rainier. Oh my gosh, Sandia Mountains. Beautiful. My gosh, I lived in Seattle for a while and I didn't connect enough with Rainier when I was up there, but boy, I felt like it was part of the reason I was there and I didn't know why. All these mountains are very, very powerful, but for a long time they've been kind of slumbering with their attitude toward us because of, their timeline is so much bigger than ours and they've witnessed so much, turnover of human populations and civilizations. And, we can have some compassion for them if some of them might be a little bit slow to catch on to what we're doing. But there's a group of people, as I said before, that I've been working with, that have been working on land healing, working on connecting with the mountains for the last decade or so or more. And gosh, yeah, past two, and have really created a beautiful new kind of structure and container for a network around the globe for working with the mountains and awakening. Um, the list that I have there, minus about 3 of them, was the original list they started working with, and this was at least 10 years ago, I think. And they've recently had a second like grouping of people working with different mountains called the Mountain Conclave. And it was really powerful work. I was blessed to be a part of that, and I'm going to continue working with them. But so I was talking about this reticence. I find that it's like microcosm, macrocosm, and we see each other and our surroundings within us as well. As like as we awaken, they awaken. That's why your awakening is so beautiful and so important, so powerful, because you literally can help nature come to life, and that collaborative and shared consciousness can heal our world. And so with all of the craziness and calamity and war and strife and divisions and people angry with one another going on in the world, we can sit back and breathe and think of the mountains and think of their perspectives, and grow from that and have other worlds that we can explore and create as all of that goes on, and work our magic in the inner realms to help bring balance and healing to the planet. So we begin with us, with ourselves. We begin with you, and whatever your imaginatory persuasion is, we begin with grounding, right? And you can also okay. Hopefully I'm back and you can see me. So as you're already on your way, hopefully you can see me now, guys. Um, I don't know what happened, but I just, got bumped off. So imagine at your first chakra, beautiful light, they're pulsating, however you imagine it. Um, that's really the connection with your grounding cord. I want you just to imagine using that template, a beautiful light, beautiful white light going all the way down, as far down as you can imagine it, into the center of the earth. We can just intend it. Even if you can't imagine it, intend. Intention is everything. So intend your beautiful energy to go all the way to the center of Mother Earth, to be firmly attached there, and take a moment, however that journey is for you, whether you imagine the layers as you go down, um, whether you stop and look at something, but continue going to the center and imagine, for our purposes here today, beautiful golden star of light, creator energy, that connects our beautiful Mother Earth to the cosmos and is a healing light that we're going to be using to connect later in the meditation with the mountains. Um, Greet Mother Earth in your imagination, in your mind's eye. We're going to give our bodies of light a little exercise today. So just pause, take 3 deep breaths in your body, and let all of the tension go as you imagine this light, and you imagine your grounding cord, and you feel it click in and be attached to Mother Earth's consciousness. I'm going to leave you for just a few seconds, maybe half a minute, to say hello to Mother Earth and allow her to embrace you and hold you, and see if she has a message for you just in this moment as we connect to do this work. And keep breathing deeply in and out. Slowly relax. All of the tension that may remain in your body goes easily down the cord to be reabsorbed and renewed by Mother Earth. Just take a moment to connect with her. And as you feel that, and as you have that intimacy with our beautiful, amazing planet, now intend to begin that beautiful golden light begins its journey up your grounding cord, in through your first chakra to your body. Imagine it. It's a beautiful light making its way up. My gosh, all that distance goes so quickly into your first chakra, cleansing and releasing any resistance that might remain to doing this work today with the mountains. Continue bringing the beautiful energy up into your second chakra, watching it glow brightly and beautifully, and up into your third, your solar plexus, where earth and sun within make a happy hug and a harmonious feeling. And continuing up into your heart, where in your heart chakra, where it radiates beautifully, and let it continue through your throat. After passing the high heart, if you don't mind just stopping for a moment, I didn't mean to skip over the high heart. It's kind of where the thymus gland is, between your heart chakra and your throat chakra. This beautiful high heart chakra of compassion, connection to the universe, where much information is accessed and shared. This is where your true altruistic calling and being has its focus and energy. And I like to take a moment to allow your wings or energy threads to unfurl as you allow lots of beautiful gold energy to come up, fill that center, and radiate out in this, actually at the sensory system, as well as what we sometimes call wings. Allow them to unfurl. And then allow the energy to go up through your heart, or through your throat, the seat of your voice, your expression, your energy, your announcement, your coming into the world. Cleansing and dissipating any energy there that is resistance to your healing process. And then up to your third eye. And the golden energy comes up giving your crown a kiss and radiating any extra golden energy coming out throughout your aura and opening your crown up. As we open our crown up, we invite in this protected container, the beautiful, I want you now to imagine as the earth energy is safely connected you and included you in Earth's consciousness. So now imagine this perfect star, so individual, so unique, your own frequency of light, beautiful creator light, tuned just to you. I want you to imagine this energy, this cosmic energy, coming down into your crown, into your heart, mingling there. For one moment, stay in your heart with this cosmic energy coming down, almost as if your heart were crystalline. So this crystalline aspect or function of our hearts can be explored just a little bit. Just take a moment to imagine this beautiful crystal being in your heart, shining this perfect frequency of creator energy that is you. And allow this beautiful cosmic energy to continue downward through your lower chakras, down into your grounding cord, going all the way down to the center of Mother Earth's core, to that golden light. And anchor it in there. And as you do, the consciousness of that light touches the consciousness of so much around our planet that is to be awakened, that is your destiny to awaken. Just take a moment to feel that excitement of your energy reaching the core of Mother Earth, your star, to enlighten and to enliven the world. Kind of like your star gives Mother Earth a kiss. And then come back up, bring your consciousness back up into your heart, and just imagine and intend these energies mingling so that now you partake of heaven and earth in your heart. Take a few deep breaths, and I'm going to give you a few seconds here anyway, maybe half a minute, to ask the star, some might call it the holy guardian angel. Ask that starry self of yours. See if that being has a message for you today. It can be as simple as I love you. Have a sense of that consciousness with you in your heart. Just take a moment to anchor it in. Take another deep breath. Feel your grounding cord firm, and your star in your heart, a beautiful crystalline color that is uniquely you. And now, after a moment and another deep breath, I want you to imagine or picture your mountain that you are going to work with today. Whatever you have chosen, even if you're choosing in the last moment here, get a sense of that mountain. And in your body of light, your imagination, or just with your intention, I want you to imagine you're now floating up towards that mountain. You're approaching that mountain. And as you do this, remember that your grounding is firm and that your heart center is firm. And as you go towards the mountain, imagine and intend going high, high up above the top of the mountain. And the air is so thin. The air is so clear. The air is so clean. Lower energies of fear and worry of humans are much lower down. So just take a moment to revel in that. The veils between the dimensions are much thinner here, so it's easy for you to intend and to communicate. And now, as you're here above the mountain, I want you to imagine the consciousness of that mountain and an actual light being that begins to form. It is absolutely immense and huge. And from the top of this mountain, literally, if you look out all the way around you, 360 degrees, that and more is, is the range of influence of this mighty being. So this enormous being of light that engulfs where you are, engulfs the mountain, begins to condense, begins with your intention to become more humanoid in form and smaller so that you may actually converse with this beautiful being. It takes whatever form is best for you to communicate with. Take note, does it appear male? Does it appear female? Is it androgynous? Anything that strikes you, details about it, take mental note. And as we greet these beings, we come to them on behalf of all of humanity. These beings are powerful, sacred, precious beings of love, part of planet Earth. As you approach this being, say hello, aho, in whatever beautiful way, aloha, whatever your native tongue may be, say hello to this beautiful being. And take note of how they respond to you. And now, with a definite sense of where they're positioned and where you are, there, high up above the mountain, be very aware of the beautiful light, brilliant light of the sun. We are going to form a connection between you, the mountain Deva, and the sun, so that you will have greater access and facility with communicating with the Deva. And so, with the help of the mighty Archangel Metatron, imagine this beautiful sunlight and a beam that begins to form, a beam of light that begins to form between you and the mountain Deva, between your hearts, in your body of light. And a beam of light between your heads, between your crowns. And I want you to imagine now, with your intention, that the sun, with the light of the sun and the guidance of Archangel Metatron, these beautiful geometric forms are being shared now in this beam of light, creating greater facility between the two of you to be able to communicate literally in the same symbolic language. You just take a moment to allow this process. And when you feel you're more strongly connected, give greetings and love to this amazing being and ask the being, ask the mountain Deva, what the mountain would like to know about us and about you personally. And take note of the Deva's reply. And then after this, ask any question on your heart to the mountain that would facilitate greater collaboration between humans and mountains. If there is a concern of the mountain for humanity, Be open to hearing whatever this Deva has to communicate for you. In this container, you are safe, you're protected, and what I've given you is merely suggestion, but just take a moment and allow your sensory of this being and their messages come to you and take mental note. And now we have coming into our container, White Buffalo Calf Woman, who has a message for each of us. Greetings, beautiful humans. Thank you for coming and taking the time to do this exercise. You are part of a new awakening and a new collaboration between humans and our sacred mountain beings. We ask you to be thoughtful. We ask you to be searching and thorough in your communication. And we ask you to continue this practice, tuning in when you can. Take the time to befriend the mountain you're with today and know that this presence will always be there for you in your healing. After these initial communications, we will learn to ground together and to spread our consciousness of healing throughout Mother Earth. I thank you for making this beginning. You are needed and loved. Take one more moment, 20-second moment, and ask your Mountain Deva if there's anything further that you need to know, or if there's anything further that you wish to ask your Mountain Deva. Do it now. And now we bring the golden expanse of beautiful communication, beams and halos between the two of you, for all of you. You bring them together, the beam comes together between you in a single light and vanishes. We give thanks to the Mountain Devas. We give thanks to Mother Earth. We give thanks to the Sun and the mighty Archangel Metatron for helping us translate. And now, with that, releasing our connection with love, travel back down the mountain and bring yourself back to your body. Grounding cord intact, heart center radiating from this beautiful experience. So not only did you join with them, you brought your connection to Mother Earth and your beautiful star, the consciousness of your individuality, to that mountain. Take a moment, take a few deep breaths. Move your extremities, fingers and toes. If you've been sitting awkwardly like I have, take a moment to stretch out your legs. One of my legs I don't feel. We ask the mighty Archangel Metatron, we thank him, ask him to bring his beautiful geometric shapes down through each of our auras, cleanse any excessive energy to be grounded into Mother Earth, where it is beautifully renewed, restored. We thank Mother Earth again. We thank our beautiful stars, and we thank our mountain devas for this moment together. Take a final deep breath. And as we move forward with this, I want you to make sure after our session that you write down your experience with the Deva, how it appeared, how it felt, if you were shown any images, what questions did they have, what questions did you have. Record it while it's still fresh. And what I want you to do, now that you've done that experience of activation, I will put out a little, another another sheet, will probably be a JPEG or a PNG, in the Facebook room for our homework, where we will, if you can, take 5 minutes each day this week to connect with your mountain spirit. And when we come back next time, we will all connect down into the core of the planet with the mountain devas and do some healing work together, whether it be atmospheric, whether it be emotional, whether we want to direct energies to a certain place on the planet. We'll be working with these very powerful beings. And it helps if we have a few days of connecting in our own way, not just guided by me, but you connecting in your own way. And that way the mountain Deva can show you some of the ways that they are already working to dissipate some of the discord on the planet, including atmospheric, the overly hot temperatures we have, and allow your creativity to be awakened by these beings. Just to give you an example, I got an image of kind of an etheric infrastructure that some of them were creating to capture some of the flows of the energy of the heat patterns, to keep them from turning into dangerous storms. Of course, we still had high temperatures, but there are things that nature spirits are already trying very hard to do. When they have our collaboration at the same time, it's much more powerful. I will also have a message for you next time. I didn't want to do it this time because the message is really strong, and it can evoke some sadness and it did for me when I first heard it, but it's a message from the giant redwood trees about just this, the need for healing in nature and human collaboration. So with that experience of literally exercising and having a consciousness of your heart as a crystal being, because we do have an aspect that is crystalline, and that's what really helps facilitate working with the mountain devas. You'll have that in place. It's something else you can kind of work on this week while you're preparing to connect with your devas, is really spend time in that crystal space. The oak tree in particular is really marvelously healing to access the heart. So if you can also, it doesn't have to be an oak tree, but spend some time with a tree every day this week, even if it's just 5 minutes, and practice grounding with it, it can really help, because they're trees and the mountains, of course, work together as all of nature does, but their spirits are particularly powerful and catalytic, as this is the word that I wanted to use in understanding the mountains and seeing how they ground and how we share consciousness together, because without so many of the great trees, the huge trees, most of them are gone. That's a factor in this heat difficulty with our climate. People don't want to admit that, or really, but it's really a thing, and we can actually. What I've been learning from the mountain devas is that we humans can actually do some of that work that the giant trees, there aren't enough of the giant trees here to do when we get into that crystalline space in our heart and in grounding certain energies. And I have yet to learn more about that, but that's just kind of like a little hint of there's so many things that these mountains can teach you. And it's one thing for me to guide, but it's really, this is an experience of exploration, each on our own. Just make sure you're well grounded. I created for our container, I used a couple of different techniques, and just know that there are many mighty archangels and ascended masters here. Grateful to you for your participation in this. So just so you know, take the time to create your container every day when you work with these forces, and work with the mountain in the way that's best for you. I'm not here to dictate any of that, but just that whatever it is and however it is that you prepare that makes you feel the most secure and the most full of love, and you feel completely safe in your heart. That's what you want to do when you do this. And I just want you to know I did that to the best of my ability ahead of time for the group. And it may seem like a small thing to, intellectual, the concept of connecting with the mountains, but when you really take the time to enjoy that yourself and explore it, I want to spend the first 15 minutes or so of class. This is a class. I'm not a guru. I'm just learning too. I'm just sharing with you. But we'll take like the first 15 or 20 minutes just sharing what our experiences were with our mountains this week. Okay, and we'll get on to a little more advanced stuff next week. But I can't thank you enough for joining me with this. As I said, I literally moved my daughter and myself. I mean, we're separate from my husband, but we had to move, and I couldn't afford to live where I was anymore. And I'm like, I want to move to Mount Shasta. So, oh my God, I'm so grateful to be here, and I'll look forward to sharing with you some of what I've been learning from not just, okay, you got big old Mount Shasta, but its entourage of smaller mountains and other beings are really part of this conglomerate being that is just unbelievably amazing. Mount Shasta is definitely a central vortex of awakening on the planet right now. For whatever reason, it is. And I know that the first time I came up here and went on a little walkabout journey with one of the local mountain guides, white buffalo calf woman. And I was like, she's speaking to me. Oh my God. It's a really powerful place. There's a lot of ascended master communication for some people. And the more I've been exploring the lore, every mountain has its lore. So with that, whichever mountain you picked, take some time this week to just do some fun Google or Wikipedia or whatever. If you have encyclopedias, I wish I still did. I don't. But enjoy researching them and take time befriending them. And just thank you so much for your time, everybody. I'm so glad you joined me today. I was felt, again, Mrs. Magoo of Spiritual Development here was I have a hard time being visible, and I have to start being more visible. So thank you for allowing me to have my little experiment in sharing my love of the mountains with you, and a little bit that I've learned from the Mountain Conclave, which I'll tell you more about. And also, of course, in following up, we'll give you more information about that group. So also, if you would put in the chat, I want to find out how I can make sure I get everybody kind of on the same page so I can be in touch with you. So let me give you my regular email address. It's jacksangels1@gmail.com, and I will write it down here. gmail.com. If you wouldn't mind just dropping me a quick note so that I can keep you all on the same page with the homework. I'll post a little flyer with the homework on the Facebook page, but I'd love it so that if people couldn't come, they can, they can do that. But I'd love to hear from you so that I can send you all the little bits of info that I've alluded to during our session, because I know I talked about a lot of stuff. Okay, so good. I figured it would be about a half hour of the meditation, and I needed to give kind of an intro there um, to you. So the time worked out great. And I don't think there's anybody up at 10, so the next person has plenty of room. But thank you for spending some time with me and the mountains, the sun, and the earth. Mwah.